Alright guys, welcome back to the 113th episode of this review series where I review everything in Fortnite Save the World. For this episode, I'm going to be doing a review on the Blastotron Mini. But anyway, first let's get into the perks I put on it. So for this first one, it is an element and it's locked to energy, and energy is pretty good against any type of enemy like elementals. It does 75% damage to all of them, which I know it's not 100%, but it's a really just the best element for dealing with any type of elemental enemy. And then for the second one, we got crit damage, crit rating, damage, headshot damage, or magazine size. And I went for a crit build, which means I have 1 crit rating and as much crit damage as I could possibly put on this weapon. And on here, I have 2 crit damages. So yeah, and then the reason you don't choose crit rating up here and you choose crit damage is because if you choose crit rating here, then crit rating is also the 4th perk, and the 4th perk doesn't have an option to switch it out for crit damage, so then there would be 2 crit ratings and only 1 crit damage, which is not the way you build a crit build. So you need crit damage up here, so then this 4th perk can be a crit rating. And then the reason you don't choose damage is because overall having a crit build does way more damage than a flat damage build. And then headshot damage, sometimes you're not always gonna hit those headshots, and like enemies won't always be facing you, so you're not always gonna be able to hit those headshots. And this weapon is a run and gun weapon, so it's gonna be really hard to hit headshots. And also just hitting a crit is way easier because you could just hit them in their body and have a chance to hit a crit. And then magazine size, the reason you don't choose that is because the magazine size on this weapon is already 20, so that's kind of small, so it won't even increase it that much. And also, why would you replace it with a crit damage? Because with a crit damage, you'll be doing way more damage. And then the 3rd perk is damage, durability, magazine size, reload speed, or weapon stability. And the reason you don't choose durability is because why would you choose a perk that just increases the durability when you could choose a perk that actually helps you in battle? Like, you could choose damage, magazine size, reload speed, or really anything else, and they would all help you in battle. Whereas if you chose durability, it would just make your weapon last longer before it eventually breaks. Like, any weapon will break, and this is just delaying in the inevitable. So like, why not choose a perk that will actually help you instead of just choosing a perk that doesn't help you at all? So yeah, just never go with durability. And then the next one, we got magazine size, and I can see people using this because with this special perk that I have, it increases the crit rating based on how many shots you fired before you reload. So with the extra magazine size, you can increase the amount of time that you have that extra crit rating. But I personally didn't choose this because it's crit rating, it's not like crit chance. So what crit rating does is if you got 30 crit rating, then that will increase the crit rating. But if you add 30 more, then it'll increase it even more, but not as much as it did before. So like 30 crit rating, say that'll add 30%. But another 30 crit rating would probably only add like 20% more crit chance. So yeah, the more crit rating, the less it starts actually increasing the crit chance and just starts capping out. So that's why I didn't choose magazine size. And then reload speed on this weapon is already 2.4, and that's pretty quick. So I would say with that quick of a reload speed, you don't really need a reload speed perk. And then weapon stability just helps with recoil control, but if you're just good at aiming, then you don't really need that. And then for the 4th perk, we got crit rating, reload speed, durability, or damage. And as I said before, with a crit build, you need 1 crit rating and as much crit damage you can put on the weapon. And right here, there is only a choice of crit rating and not crit damage. So this is where you're gonna put your crit rating. And the reason I didn't choose reload speed here is because you would be reloading faster, and the reload speed, as I said before, is already pretty quick, so you don't need that. And also, it'll take away the crit rating, so you won't hit as hit crits as often, so there's really no point in that. And then durability, I'm not going on that rant again, it's just a terrible perk. And then damage, doesn't do as much damage as crit build, so don't choose that. And then for the 5th perk, we got crit damage, damage to miss monsters and bosses, damage or crit rating. And don't choose crit rating here because I already chose crit rating for the 4th perk. And then damage, as I said before, does less damage than a crit build. And then damage to miss monsters and bosses. You're not always going to be going for miss monsters and bosses with this build. Your playstyle is not going to be only targeting them. You're just going to be running and gunning and taking out everything. So to take out everything, you're just going to have a normal crit build. So just choose crit damage here. And then for the final perk, what it is each shot fired grants plus 1.8 critical rating for 1 second and stacks up to 15 times. And this is what I said before, it stacks up to 15 times, and then all the magazine up higher than 15 will have all those extra stacks, and it will just have a bigger crit rating, but it's not really that good since the crit rating is already added with the 4th perk, so this one isn't really going to be adding that much more crit chance. And anyway, now for the hero loadout. For the commander, I'm using Gunblazer Saldi, and what he has is Blaze of Glory Plus. And what that is phase shift increases pistol and SMG damage by 105% for 4 seconds. And this is really good since you're running and gunning. This is like the staple of run and gun heroes. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna phase shift, spray down all the enemies, reload, phase shift, and then repeat. So yeah, that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna do a ton of damage always. Since the magazine size is pretty low, you're gonna be shooting all your rounds in less than 4 seconds. So once you reload and phase shift again, you're gonna always have this 105% extra damage like constantly added to your weapon, so that's just doing a ton of extra damage. And then for the team perk, we got Blast from the Past, which removes all shield and increases max health by 200% and requires 2 dinosaur heroes. And the removal of your shield isn't really that big of a deal since shield is only a small percentage of your overall health, and it also increases your max health by 200%, meaning you're going to be running at 300% health at all times. So that's really good. You're going to be able to take a lot more damage before you can actually die, but the problem with that is health doesn't regenerate to full, it only regenerates to 30%, but we'll get back to that in a second. So then for the support team, we got Saurian Might from Rex Jonesy, and what he does is every 1 second adds 3% of current health to damage of next ranged weapon hit. So this means the higher you keep your health, the higher damage you'll be doing. So make sure you just stay on your toes and try not to get hit as much, so then you can keep your health high and keep doing that damage. And then we got Saurian Hide from Prehistoric Izza, and what she does is while shield is depleted, it increases armor by 33. And with Blast from the Past, shield is always depleted, so we always got this extra armor. And what armor does is whenever a husk hits you, it'll actually do less damage to you. And this is constantly active since you always have shield depleted. So yeah, you'll just be able to take a lot more hits before you actually die. And this is added on to that 300% health. And then we got Make It Count from Beetlejuice, and she increases pistol and SMG critical damage by 75%. SMG bonus does not stack with assault critical damage. So what this means is whenever you hit a crit, you'll be doing a lot of extra damage, and with her, there's a lot more extra damage added on to that. And then we got Hip Shot from Ranger Deadeye, and he increases pistol and SMG damage by 17%. SMG bonus does not stack with assault damage. And what this means is just pretty explanatory, just extra damage on your SMG. And then we got Survivalist from Survivalist Jonesy or Birthday Brigade Jonesy, and they both do the same thing, which is eliminations heal you for 39 base health over 3 seconds. Duration refreshes with additional eliminations. And this is from what I said before, where your health doesn't regenerate up to full. It only regenerates up to 30%. But with him, whenever you get a kill, you get some regeneration. And the more kills you get, it doesn't increase the rate of your regeneration or the amount of health you get regen. It only increases the time of your regeneration. So you're basically never gonna run out, but you're not invincible. So this makes it so you will be able to regenerate up to full health. And also, combined with Saurian Might from Rex Jonesy, what that does is the higher health you have, the more damage you'll be doing. And with that more damage, you'll be getting more eliminations, of course. And with those more eliminations, you'll get more health. And it's just a complete cycle that keeps repeating. And you're basically an unstoppable killing machine. But anyway, the gameplay you're seeing in the background is a power level 132 eliminate and collect mission. But anyway, how you're gonna play with this weapon is you're gonna try to avoid mist monsters, because as an Outlander, Outlanders don't really have that much health, so you're gonna get destroyed pretty easily. So you're gonna mainly focus on the trash enemies like the Husk or Husky, not Husky Husk. Well, you can focus on them, but just not as much as the trash enemies like the Husklings and all of them. So you're just gonna phase shift, unload your entire magazine, and then reload and repeat. So you're just gonna be phase shift, phase shift, unload, reload, repeat, and you're just gonna be doing a ton of damage with that extra phase shift bonus from Gunblazer Salty. And you're gonna have to get used to like phase shifting right before you shoot, so like you don't phase shift right into the enemies or off a cliff. You're gonna have to phase shift like to the left or right. I usually don't phase shift behind me because I'm not always looking behind me, and there could be like a whole ton more enemies right behind me, and I just phase shift into them and I get instantly deleted, or like I just phase shift off a cliff when I don't know it's there. So yeah, just go left or right and then unload your magazine. And this weapon, I'd say pretty fun. I like the sound of it, but like it uses energy ammo, and that's kind of a hard thing to come by nowadays, but it's a pretty fun weapon. And I'd say when this comes back, make sure you get it because it's pretty cool. Probably one of my favorites from this SciFi, retro SciFi event. So yeah, it's pretty good. But anyway guys, if you enjoyed, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because I do these review videos where I review everything in Fortnite Save the World 3 times a day. And also like, comment, and share so that more people can see my videos. But anyway guys, I'll see you next time.